So it's a double concave lens. The radius of curvature of one surface is 10 centimeter, another is 20 centimeter. The refractive index of the medium of lens is 1.5 and that of the surrounding is 1. Just calculate its focal length. It's a simple formula based numerical on lens maker formula. Okay, so this is the equation. 1 by f is it's n2 by n1 minus 1 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. So your n1 is 1, your n2 is 1.5, right? And now the sign convention. This 10 centimeter, it should be plus 10 centimeter or minus 10 centimeter. Just tell me. This R1 should be positive or negative. Apply sign convention. See, this is the direction of light. See, this is the positive direction. To measure this distance, you are moving from P to C1. While moving from P to C, you are moving in a direction opposite to that of light. So this should be positive or negative. This should be negative now. Similarly, if I take R2, in R2, I'm moving from P to C2, P2 to C2. Now tell me, you're moving in the direction of light or in opposite direction? You are moving in the direction of light, so this has to be positive. This is plus 20 centimeter. So if I substitute all these values here, 1 by f is n2 by n1. That's 1.5 by 1 minus 1, 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. 1 by minus 10 minus 1 by 20. So 1 by f is 0.5. So LCM is 20. It's minus 2 minus 1. So 1 by f is 0.5. It's minus 3 by 20. So this is 200 now. 40. So your focal length is 40 by 3 centimeter. Okay, now start some important numericals on this concept. The first question is, to see in this example, the radius of curvature is not given, only the focal length is given and the refractive index of the medium of the lens is given. And this is the refractive index of the surrounding. See, just understand the question first. So you have a double convex lens. This is the pole of first surface. This is center of curvature. This is center of curvature, pole of second surface. This distance is R1. This distance is R2. If light is coming in this direction, then your R1 is positive and your R2 is negative. R1 is positive and R2 is negative. So 1 by F is N2 by N1 minus 1. It's 1 by R1. Your R1 is positive, but R2 is negative. So it's minus of 1 by minus of R2. So your 1 by F is, it's N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. That is my first equation. This is my equation number 1. So see, first your lens is placed in air. Your lens is initially placed in air. That means your N1 is 1 and your N2 is 1.5. If I substitute these values here, then your 1 by F will be, it's 1.5 by 1 minus 1. It's 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this 1 by F will reduce to its 0.5 into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. That is my first equation. This is how we calculate 1 by F. It's 1 by focal length is 0.5, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is in air. Then he says, and in air, the focal length is 0.2. So I put F equal to 0.2. F is equal to 0.2. So this is 1 by 0.2 is 0.5, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. This is my first equation. Then what you do, you take the same lens and put this lens into water. Then I take the same lens and I place this lens into water. The refractive index of the medium of the lens is same, it's 1.5, but the refractive index of water is 1.3. You are changing the surroundings, your N1 is changing. So your N2 is still 1.5, but your N1 have changed. Now your N1 is 1.3. So if I substitute this in this equation, 1 by F is N2 by N1 minus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. See, focal length will change definitely. I put it F1 by F prime. Your N2 is 1.5, but your N1 is 1.3 now. It's minus 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Say that this expression will remain same. This will remain same. 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Now if I take LCM, LCM is 1.3. It's 1.5 minus 1.3 into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So 1 by F prime is now 1.5 minus 1.3 is 0.2 divided by 1.3. It's 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is my equation number 2. Now if I divide 1 in 2, then what I will get is 1 by 0.2 is 0.5, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. It's 1 by 0.2 is 0.5, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. And this is 1 by F prime is 0.2 by 1.3, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this will get cancelled out. You can take this F prime to the numerator. So it will be F prime by 0.2 and this is 0.5 by 1, right? So this 1.3 will comes to the top. So this will be 0.5 into 1.3 by 1 into 0.2. So it comes out to be its F prime by 0.2 is it's 0.5 into 1.3, 0.65. 1 into 0.2 is 0.2, gets cancelled out. So F prime comes out to be 0.6 centimeter. Okay, so next numerical. See, the next is basically a conceptual numerical, which is based on the cutting off lens. So instead of taking a single question, I'm taking several questions on cutting off lens. So first one is, let's say I'm cutting an equiconvex lens into two parts. First, equiconvex lens. Equiconvex lens. Even in cutting of equiconvex lens, it can have two parts. The first is perpendicular to principal axis. So you take this lens, this equiconvex lens. This is the principal focus of the lens. The focal length of the lens is F. What I do is the radius of curvature is an equiconvex lens. Radius of curvature of both the sides is same. So this is first side. This is pole. This is center of curvature. This is R1, or it's R. Both the sides are equal. This is C2. This is P2, and this is also R. So you can say that your R1 is equal to plus R, while your R2 is minus R. So in the lens maker formula, if I substitute these values, then 1 by F comes out to be N2 by N1 minus 1. It's 1 by R plus 1 by R. So your focal length 1 by F is only, it's N2 by N1 minus 1. It's 2 by R. That's my first equation. So when you have not cut this lens, this is the expression of focal length. Now I'm cutting this lens perpendicular to principal axis. Now I'm cutting this lens perpendicular to principal axis. Now when I cut this lens perpendicular to principal axis means this is the lens. I cut this into two parts in this way. I just cut this lens into two parts in this way. So the two parts will look like this. One is this way. The two parts will look like this. This is one part. This is another part. You have to calculate the focal length of each part. Now, can you tell me this single part? What type of lens is this? This is plano-convex lens. Yes, this is plano-convex, not semi-convex or convex. This is plano-convex. This lens is plano-convex. So this is the first surface P1. This is center of curvature C1. Its radius of curvature is R. So R1 is equal to plus R. But your second surface is plane. It's not curved. Okay, can you tell me what is the radius of curvature of a plane surface? The radius of curvature of a plane surface is infinite, not zero. Plane surface is basically a part of a sphere having infinite radius. So if you have a plane surface, radius of curvature is infinite. Now, if I apply lens maker formula here, 1 by F is, I call this as F prime. Okay, this was F, so I'm calling this as F prime. It's N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1. 1 by R1 is R, minus 1 by R2, which is 1 by infinite. So you can simply write this as 1 by F prime is N2 by N1 minus 1 multiplied by 1 by R. Now what you can do is you can just divide 2 and 1. You can simply divide 2 and 1. So when you divide them, 1 by F divided by 1 by F prime is N2 by N1 minus 1 multiplied by 2 by R divided by its N2 by N1 minus 1 into 1 by R. This will cancel this. This will cancel this. So you have F prime by F is equal to 2. Your F prime is 2F. Which means if the focal length of this lens is F, then on dividing this into two parts, the focal length of each part will be 2F. Focal length will be twice if you divide a lens perpendicular to principal axis. Remember this thing. It's an important conceptual question. If you are dividing a lens perpendicular to principal axis, then its focal length becomes double. Because the radius of curvature of one surface is infinite now. Focal length just double. B. If I cut this lens parallel to principal axis, on cutting lens parallel to principal axis. Means I take this lens, I cut into two parts in this way. The one is this, the another is this. The focal length of this lens is f. Just tell me, is there any change in radius of curvature? Is there any change in the radius of curvature? No, no change in radius of curvature. That means focal length will not change. Focal length will remain same. If you cut a lens parallel to principal axis, then its focal length will not change. Focal length will not change. But see, now the size of the lens is halved. So the amount of light that was entering in this lens will become half if you divide it into two parts. If the amount of lights becomes halved, that means the intensity of image will become half. That simply means that intensity of image, the brightness of image will reduce. Intensity of image or brightness of image will reduce. Always remember that if focal length is positive, if focal length is positive, then your lens is converging. If focal length is positive, then the lens is converging. But if focal length is negative, then the lens is diverging. Always remember this thing. A convex lens can diverge. A concave lens can converge. So to decide whether a lens is converging or diverging, just look at the focal length. If focal length is positive, then it is converging. But if its focal length is negative, then the lens is diverging. So the question on this concept is, so you're given a lens, a convex lens. This convex lens is given. This is pole P1. This is pole P2. This is center of curvature C1. This is center of curvature C2. So I call this as R1, which is positive. And let's call this as R2, which is negative. So if I apply Lensmaker formula, then this 1 by f comes out to be n2 by n1 minus 1. It's 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. Now the question says, I'm incidenting some rays over it. Some rays are incident over here. These are rays incident over here. The question says, complete the ray diagram if, first part. See, N2 is the refractive index of the medium of lens and N1 is the refractive index of surrounding. Complete the ray diagram if N2 is greater than N1, N2 is less than N1, N2 is equal to N1. If N2 is greater than N1, N2 is less than N1, and N2 is equal to N1. Under all these three conditions, just complete this ray diagram. So one very natural answer of this question is you just converge the rays. You see, you say that this convex lens is always converging, should always converge a rays to some point, but that's wrong. A convex lens is not always converging. A convex lens can even diverge. So whether it's converging or diverging, that depends upon the focal length. If your focal length comes out to be positive, then it's converging. If it comes out to be negative, then it's diverging. So if I take part 1, n2 is greater than n1. So I'm writing this equation again. 1 by f is n2 by n1 minus 1 into 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. If I say that n2 is greater than n1, that means n2 by n1 is greater than 1. See, this term is positive. Now, can you decide whether this term n2 by n1 minus 1, it's a positive term or a negative term? Can you decide about this term? Yes, because first term is greater than 1, right? So it should be a positive term. If it is positive, that means your focal length is positive. Focal length is positive, that means your lens is converging. It's a converging lens. So you take this lens, you take rays which are parallel to principal axis. So if n2 is greater than n1, that means your lens is converging. If I take second part, n2 is less than n1. In that case, your n2 by n1 is less than 1. If I substitute these values, 1 by f is, it's n2 by n1 minus 1 into 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. This term is negative now because this is less than 1. This is positive. Your focal length is negative. Now, if your focal length is negative, that means your lens is diverging now. It is a diverging lens now. So if your lens is diverging, this simply means this is your lens. If I say this is diverging, that means you take these rays, this will go like this. It will behave like a concave lens basically. This is it. Now, if I take third part, putting it third part. If I say that n2 is equal to n1, this means n2 by n1 is equal to 1. If I say n2 by n1 is 1, then your 1 by f is, it's 1 minus 1 into 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. You will say that 1 by f is 0. Your focal length is infinite. Infinite focal length means rays will remain parallel. It will remain parallel. Now, if you look at it carefully, there is no change in medium. That means no refraction. The rays will come straight and will go straight. There is no refraction here. Achha, just remember one more thing, that in this particular case, lens actually disappear. Lens actually disappear in this particular case. It's because it's like if I take water and in water I place a lens make of water, then you cannot see that lens in the water. If you put a lens into a medium having a refractive index same as that of medium of lens, then there is no refraction. You cannot see that lens. Like in the air, I say there is a lens of air in air. Obviously, you cannot see that lens. So in sometimes in conceptual questions, he asks you to disappear a lens. That means if you want to disappear a lens, take that lens, place that lens into a medium having refractive index same as that of lens. Your lens will not be visible in that medium. Okay, so that's enough about lens maker formula. The next is lens formula. Now, this derivation is repetition of class 11th, class 10th, basically. Lens formula is relation between object distance, image distance, and focal length. Lens formula is relation between object distance, image distance, and focal length. So the relation between object distance, image distance, and focal length of the lens is known as lens formula. So let's, this is lens formula basically. 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F. Now let's derive this formula. So this is your lens, a convex lens. So I'm drawing it for convex lens. I'm deriving this relation for convex lens. Even if you take concave lens, the relation is same. So we take a convex lens. So this is the focus, first focus. This is the second focus. I take an object, I place this object beyond first focus. I take this object and place this object beyond the first focus. So this ray will pass through second focus. Then a ray is passing through the optical center of the lens. It will meet here. So this is your object AB. This is your object AB. You have one ray which is parallel to principal axis. After refraction through the lens, it will pass through focus. This is another ray which is passing through the optical center. And this is your image. This is your final image, which is A prime, B prime. This is optical center. So the next thing is, this is your object, this is optical center, this is your object distance U, this is your image distance V, and this optical center to the focus is focal length F. You have to derive a relation between all these terms. So to derive a relation between all these terms, what you can do is you can take some pairs of similar triangles, say ABO and A prime B prime O. Triangle ABO and triangle A prime B prime O. These two triangles are similar. They are similar triangles. See, this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree. This and this are vertically opposite angle. So in a triangle, two angles are equal. That means third angles are also equal. So they are similar. If they are similar, that means the ratio of the sides are equal. It's A prime B prime divided by AB is OB prime divided by OB. That's my first equation. So triangle ABO and A prime B prime O are similar triangles. So A prime B prime by AB is equal to OB prime by OB. Next, what we can do is we can this is O1, this is O2. I just take this line parallel to AB. Now, if you see this O1, O2, F and A prime, B prime, F are similar triangles. Triangle O1, O2, F and triangle A prime, B prime, F. These two are again similar pairs. If they are similar, that means the ratio of their sides are equal, which simply means A prime, B prime divided by side, this side is O1, O2 is FB prime divided by O1F. FB prime divided by O1F. Now see, O1, O2 is equal to AB. This O1, O2 is nothing but your side AB. So if I substitute it here, you have A prime, B prime divided by AB is FB prime divided by O1F. That's equation number 2. See, I can equate 1 and 2 because in 1 it's a prime b prime by ab. In 2 this is again a prime b prime by ab. So I'm equating 1 and 2. So I'm equating 1 and 2. When I equate them, what I get is OB prime divided by OB is FB prime divided by O1F. This is what I get if I equate these two things. Now, all distances should be from optical center. See, this OB prime is from optical center. OB prime is basically your image distance. OB is from optical center, but this FB prime is not from your optical center. So what you can do is you can simply write this FB prime as this. This is FB prime. I can write this as O1B prime minus O1F. So I'm simply writing this as O1B prime minus O1F. If I substitute it here, let's call this as equation number 3. Let's call this as 4. If I substitute 4 in 3, what I get is OB prime divided by OB is OB. Let's call this as OB only. Yeah. OB prime minus OF divided by OF. So I make this mistake. Huh? Somewhere I take O, somewhere I take O1. It's always O, okay? Everywhere it's O. No O1. No O1. No O1. It's O always. Now, if I start substitution, what is OB? OB is your object distance, it's minus U. What is OB prime? OB prime is your image distance, which is V. What is OF? OF, your focal length F. If I substitute all these values here, then this is V divided by minus U. It's V minus F divided by F. So you have minus V by U is equal to V minus F by F. So if I cross multiply them, this is minus of VF is UV minus UF. You can take this UF to the left hand side. So I will get just take this to the left hand side. This is UF minus VF is equal to UV. This is your lens formula. But just to convert this lens formula into standard form, I divide both sides by UVF now. So if I divide both sides by UVF, it's UF by UVF minus VF by UVF. It's UV divided by UVF now. So this UF will cancel this UF, VF will cancel this VF, UV will cancel this thing. So this is 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F now. So this is your desired lens formula. This is your lens formula. This is the lens formula. 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F now. Okay, the next thing is magnification. The next thing is magnification. So for a lens, magnification simply means the ratio of magnification, we represent it by M, is the ratio of height of image and the height of object. So magnification is simply the ratio of height of image and the height of object. See here, how much is the height of image? The height of image is this, it's A prime, B prime. And what is the height of objects? It's AB. So you can say that this is A prime, B prime divided by AB. And see here, A prime, B prime by AB is OB prime by OB. This is Height of image, see, this is height of image and this is the height of object. See, image is inverted, it's upside down. Image is inverted, so this hi is negative. So you can say this is minus of hi by AB, which is ho. Or just give me some time. So this was equation number 5, right? This is equation number 6. This is magnification. A prime B prime is the height of your image, which is minus hi. I'm taking minus hi because your image is inverted. AB is the height of your object. So your magnification will comes out to be minus hi divided by h naught. This is your magnification. It's 7th. And you know that from equation 1, your A prime B prime by AB is equal to OB prime divided by OB. And what is OB prime? It's V. What is OB? It's minus of U. 7th. So you know that your A prime B prime is equal to minus of hi by h naught and is equal to V by U. Equation number 8. Now I can compare 7 and 8. Now when I equate 7 and 8, what I get is minus of hi divided by h naught is minus V by U. So this negative will cancel this negative. You are left with height of image by height of object is V by U. And this is magnification. So your magnification is height of image by height of object, which is equal to V by U. This is the formula of magnification. But while using this formula, always remember that you have to use sign convention. Always use sign convention while using this formula. Okay, so this if you know magnification, you can decide various features of your image. First thing, if your magnification is negative, negative magnification means your image is inverted with respect to object. Your image is inverted. And remember, if it is inverted, then it's also real. Second, if your magnification comes out to be positive, that means your image is erect with respect to object and it's virtual. If it is erect, that means it is always a virtual image. Third one, if your modulus of your magnification is less than 1, then your image is diminished.
Okay.
It's diminished, smaller than the object, smaller than object. Fourth one, if your magnification is greater than 1, that means your image is magnified. It's greater than the object. Image is magnified. It's greater than object. Just note it down. If you know magnification, that means you know everything about the image.